this is the story of how we ended up taking ownership of the 21-foot sailing cruiser Tuppence as a free project boat. I spent most of my childhood sailing on the Norfolk Broads here in the UK, and for a long time it's been a dream of mine to buy and restore a sailing cruiser so we can sail around the Broads, the local coastline, and eventually explore further afield. We actually got married last month and we're in the process of buying our first home together, so let's face it, the boat budget is pretty limited right now, so we settled on the plan of buying a project boat and restoring it at our own pace. Beyond the fact that we knew that we wanted a sailing cruiser and that a wooden boat would be lovely but completely not practical, the biggest search parameter was that any boat would have to fit through the 8-foot by 8-foot roller door at my studio. This is so that we can work on the project without having to pay any boatyard fees or rent space elsewhere. Whether that turns out to be a false economy remains to be seen, but that's the plan we have. Holly and I spent a long time searching online for a suitable project boat. Then one day we found Tuppence, a mid-1970s Corribee Mark I listed on Facebook Marketplace. Now, ignore the headline price. You see from the listing details that she was offered pretty much as a what you see is what you get deal for £400. That's about $540 US. Given that the trailer is in great, if somewhat filthy condition, and worth at least £400 on the second-hand market, I see Tuppence as effectively a free project boat that simply came with the trailer. Now, we're definitely silly at times, but we're not stupid. There's no such thing as a free boat, especially given the money that inevitably needs to be spent on restoring Tuppence, but we're going to be doing the work ourselves, at our own pace, so we can budget accordingly. Tuppence has been almost entirely gutted by her previous owner, who'd already made a start on the project, and all of the gear that's been removed have been piled in a heap down below. To be honest, before taking ownership, I gave the hull and mast a good visual inspection, but other than that, I have really no idea of what's sitting in that pile of hardware. So, having collected her from a farm in North Norfolk yesterday morning, then towing her back to the studio, my first job is to empty her completely and see what we've actually bought. Right, so here we go. We've got all sorts that have come out of Tuppence. The good news is, well, firstly, all the furnishings, all the kind of the cushions, etc., bit grubby. I mean, they look like they're straight out of the 1970s, but they're actually in really good condition, so that's fantastic. We've got our lifelines and stanchions. I've actually left in the boat, I've left the pulpit and the metalwork for the back of the boat, for the stern. That's just too much of a hassle to get out today. I'll come back and do it tomorrow. This looks like a jigsaw puzzle to me. We're going to have to figure out exactly what is what. That looks like the compression post, our white piece of metal there. Tabernacle, awesome. She's been fitted, perfect for the Norfolk Broads, fitted so that you can lower the mast nice and easily. And what looks like lots of various different offcuts and lengths of timber for when the previous owner must have been doing the rubbing strake, tow rail, etc. So yeah, we'll delve a little bit deeper into this, but what I'm really interested in is what on earth this is. Right, through the first layer, we have another layer. Okay, so not sinister, just lots of fiberglass and gear. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna have to figure out how to store this until I'm ready for it. It absolutely stinks. Okay, so with any big new project, I always find myself wondering where on earth to begin and in what order I should do things. Now, where I've got to with that, thinking big picture, is that I'm going to focus on getting her back on the water, ready to sail, even if the interior refit hasn't been completed at that point. After all, I don't want to get any nasty surprises when we crane her in and all of a sudden have to potentially start ripping out furniture to find and fix leaks. It's probably better that the interior isn't finalised at that point. Fingers crossed that won't happen anyway, but we'll see. I'm going to be posting regular updates of Tuppence's progress here on this channel, so be sure to subscribe to keep an eye on how we're getting on. I'll see you in the next video.